All right, so welcome to the class. And just want to do a quick recap of what we did last week. Um, I know you were not here, Mohammed, but we took the liberty to. I'll just go real quick because you're new to the class, product management. So a lot of people don't understand what product management is. So the past few classes we've gone through defining what a product manager is and what it isn't. It's not project management, it's product management. So real quick, the analogy of it is looking at like in product management is not just for tech. Product management is also in so many fields. It's in aviation, it's used in manufacturing. So there's something called lean product management, which uses the Lean Sigma rules for building products. So basically, it's applying like an agile methodology, but with a product flavor to it. So the difference between a product manager and a project manager is that the product manager is dealing with more other signals, like they're dealing with who are we. First of all, the first thing a product manager is looking at is what are we building, to define what we are building. And then after identifying what we are building, so that would entail doing, getting some input from the CEO, the C-level suite, or the C-suite as they call them, or it could come from doing customer discovery. It could come in from doing market analysis. There's so many places where these can come from. So as a product manager, you determine what it is you're building. And then you also deal with who are we building that what for? So that is, what are we building? You define that. And then the next step is to figure out who you're building it for. That is, who's your target audience? What is your demographic? Are you building it for college age students, high school students, or a mix, a certain age band? Are you building it for working professionals? Are you building this for people in their retirement, boomers? So you have to determine who you're building it for. The different demographics could be money, right? Financial status. Are you looking for like middle income, low income, people with disposable income and who are wealthy? So these are all the things that you as a product manager need to be able to determine who you're building for and align it to the what, right? And then after identifying who you're building it for, you have to make a case for why you are building this, right? Why are you building product X instead of Y? So after determining what you are building, you determine the market, who, and then you figure out why. What are we solving a pain point? That is, are you dealing with a pain point? So think of your worst software you ever used, and that keeps on, it's not very intuitive. It's not very, the UI is not that elegant. It keeps, not saving your spot. Like I've been to some place where you're filling out a form and it's like about 30 to 50 questions. And then the most corporates are government agency websites. Like when you're trying to file unemployment or something, it's like you just keep filling out, and there's no intuitive way to even save your work and come back. And it gets so cumbersome, and most people just give up and like, you know what, I'm not going to do this. So these are some of the things where a pet peeve, you're trying to solve a pain point, helping people build or find solutions to problems that they have, or bringing what we call a vitamin. So is it a painkiller? Are you introducing a feature or a new product that will solve a pain? Before Uber came out of as of a pain, right? Before Uber, we all had to call the yellow cab or whatever taxi you have in that wherever you live, and they, may show up or may not. You'll be waiting to go to the airport, and you have to call and find out and then sometimes you don't even know where they are. You're looking out the window, and they might just cancel on you. And in New York, is very the yellow cabs are notorious for discriminating against Black people or people of color, where they just you could wave them down and they just drive right past, empty, and then right in front of you, a white person waves them down and they just stop and pick them, right? So these are some of the things that is a painkiller. It's a pain point for the user. Today, Uber has become a verb. People say Uber me some food or Uber this, Uber that, because it's solving a very critical pain point, moving people from one point to the other. And Uber evolved from that to what it is now, to Uber Eats. Today, you can track when you order the food, when they received it, you can add your condiments, you can add your sides, everything, and you don't have to call somebody and they take it on the phone and trying to explain everything to them. You have a picture of the menu in front of you. You can read on it. You know what people add to it and all that good stuff, right? So as a product manager, you have to be building things that are adding value to the business, because corporations are in business not just to be in business, but to make a profit or to make a change, to be a cause or change agent. And the reward is, most likely will be financial or monetary rewards as a result. So as a product manager, there are another key thing here, and pardon me, Shante, for going over this again. I'm just doing for Mohammed's sake, and I'm going to wrap up soon. As a product manager, you are more or less an extension of the CEO of the company, except that you are not the CEO. They call you, the joke is you are the mini CEO or the mini me of the CEO, but you don't have any authority. You can be a voice in the hiring process, but you cannot directly fire somebody for anything, right? You can decide not to work with them, but you have a lot of responsibility, but no real power to come in when it comes to getting rid of people that you don't want to work with or stuff like that. So another last analogy that I want to give for product manager is, think about a music group, or the New York Philharmonic or Symphony. You go to an orchestra, we have different instruments, we have different players, we have a drummer, we have a bassist, we have a keyboardist or pianist, we have the violinist, the trumpet, you name it. And yet they all can play their instrument, but there's somebody standing in front called a conductor who was holding a wand or a stick, and he has a paper in front of him that is like the roadmap of the music. When the first music starts, you, the conductor, will know what instrument starts, which instrument starts, and which one comes in and when they stop, and what tempo, what beat rate, all the nuances of that musical piece or score. The score is a roadmap that has been written out. All the keys moving from one octave to the other, moving from one key to the other. All these things are the technical things that are on a piece of paper, which is like the roadmap for the music to create melodious symphony. And you, the product manager, are the conductor. You are conducting the orchestra. You will know when the violinist needs to come in and everybody has to be quiet. You know when the pianist has to be the one to play a solo. You know when the vocals come in. You know when everything comes in. Everybody in the team has an idea of what's going to happen, but you are the one that makes it happen. Is that clear?
Yeah, that's clear. Thank you, Nathan.
Sure. So I just want to get you caught up real quick. And so as a product manager, you wear a very, very critical role in the whole product process. And that is why product managers get paid the big bucks for being who they are. And the last thing is, so you deal with the what, the who, and why. And then a project manager usually deals with the when, which is the time, when things get delivered. They deal with they are like the right-hand man for a product manager to deal with costing, prioritization of water prioritization, like getting the money, making sure that you're within budget, allocation of resources. As you know, team members need computers or need this, make sure that things are getting shipped and shipped at the right time. That's the win. And the development team, the design team, all the other team members that come together to build it are dealing with the how, which is how do you make it happen? So you have the product vision, the product roadmap, you've done your product discovery, you've done your product, break it all down into its minutia. And then after you're done, you are the one supposed to be the cog in the wheel, because all these other entities or stakeholders usually don't talk to each other. But you come in to facilitate the communication. You steer the communication between varying departments. So development speaks a different language. They speak in code. Design speaks different language. They speak in pixels, right, and colors. We have data scientists that speak different language. They speak in what? Numbers, digital data, statistical numbers, right? Tracking and making sure what you're building is actually making an impact. So these are some of the things that are critical as a product manager, to be the facilitator, to be the, be the cheerleader, to be the counselor, go into to put out a fire when a developer says something can't be done, to be the one to go in to even get coffee and maybe pizza for the team so that they can keep working, removing the blocks, right? But then in a bigger organization, you might have more specialized roles where product manager deals more with customer facing, dealing with understanding customer feedback, gathering requirements, doing customer development and prioritization, writing user stories, grooming them, planning them, making sure things are moving as they should. Because to the outside world, everybody glorifies the developer, the software engineer, the coder. Yes, we need developers, don't get me wrong. But without a product manager, they wouldn't know what to build. They can build. It's like in architecture, you have people that build, do buildings. The people that lay bricks, they can know where to put the brick here and put the window there. But without the architect, without the planning, without having a roadmap, a blueprint, and guiding, and making sure you're talking to other departments, to legal, talking to marketing, there's product marketing managers, dealing with the entire product development lifecycle from inception, right? Or from ideation to what? Launch. So you have your work cut out for you. You are the one, because product marketing, developers rarely talk to them. So you are the one to communicate any concerns from product marketing to the dev team. The pixels, when is you design comps, we have something called CTA, or call to action. They have to be placed strategically. That has to be worked closely with product marketing managers, right? So as a product manager, you're facilitating, and you become the catalyst for the designers to be able to talk closely with the marketing team or the product marketing manager. So let's say there's a product that needs to be get a certain target audience. The marketing team has done their research. They've come up with the content, the copy, the phrasing, everything that needs to go with it, and how the call to action or all these triggers have to be placed. And you are responsible to make sure that you're championing that vision across the board for the entire team. So that would include, say, it's a marketing funnel that has been designed as where you acquire customers, where you engage them, activate and engage them, and onboard them onto the platform or into the product. You have to work closely with product marketing. You have to be testing their design comps, because there are certain colors that are better suited for financial fintech products. And there's certain colors that are better fitted for, say, social media, certain colors or layouts, what we call design patterns, that fit different types of audience. So you have to have a pulse on that and take in the marketing content. And in some cases, you have to have, when is a call to action for a certain effect. Say you want customers to buy more of something or sign up for more of something. You've worked with the copy or the marketing team and the PR team to come up with the correct wording, the correct font, the style, easy on the eyes, how the eyes move, the chunking of the message. And then there might be two, three, four, or more varying designs that come out. So you as a product manager has to schedule tests with your customer base and do what we call A/B testing to test and see which one actually moves the needle for the team or for the customer base. So which of your designs are being adopted by the user base, and that's the one you spend more resources on. So I'm going to segue this into our topic or next course content for today, and also to highlight on some of the questions that I had received from Shantae. So this is how, as a product manager, you would get data, you get signals. So signals means like set up some triggers or some pointers from your users, from the higher ups, the C-level suite. It could come from bugs that have been reported, and you have all these things. They get reported and get thrown into like a place where we call that a backlog. So there could be feature requests. I remember when Facebook came out, when I was still in school, people would submit product requests. I think some of my requests have been turned into products by Facebook, and I think they should be sending me a check for all the ideas I gave them. But obviously they're not going to pay me. But these are some of the places where the ideas come from. They will come from people that use the product, suggesting changes, suggesting features. But doesn't mean you just take everything you're told and then just run off to go try to solve everything. No, you will just there's not enough of you, and there's not enough time in the day and unlimited resources to just be chasing every single problem that comes your way. And that is where that leads us to today's work, which is how do we go about prioritizing the work that we're going to do. So I'll just give a few seconds, a few minutes for anyone to, if you have any questions or comments or suggestions.
No, I don't have any questions.
How about you?
No,
Mo?
none at the moment.
Okay. Am I making sense so far?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna segue into today's class. And Shantae, I know you had, asked questions about things like how do you, you asked a lot of questions about Agile and all that, which we'll have a special class. This is just, we're doing this prioritization, and planning, and then also talk about our user, how to define who our user is and how to do customer development. Put all that together so that when we go into the Agile, it will make more sense, right? You understand where the flow is coming from, why we need one product or the other, right? And why you need to prioritize one over the other, how to write the user stories from the user point of view. So all these things will come together and make more sense.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that said, I'm gonna change gears here and set the stage to move onto the next phase, which is to discuss how we prioritize things as a product manager. So like I said earlier, there's so many things that a product manager needs to do. And you cannot do all of them because there's not many of you, and you can only do so much. And not everything that is recommended for your doing makes sense. That's where you need to be able to know what to do, when to do them, and why you should do something or not. So I'm gonna use one product that I've been working on as an example, right? So I'll just give you a background of this product, and then I'm gonna show you what this product does. And then I'm gonna explain to you how, you can, as a product manager, you go about figuring out what to be building, because you can't build everything. And not everything you build will bring value. So you have to know what you need to build and what shouldn't be built. So, for example, when we go here, and I'll share that so you can see it. Let me know once you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
I
All
can
right.
see it.
Okay. So remember I said that as a product manager, you get ideas coming from, and then, this is from the last previous classes where we talk about where issues come from. They can come from users, they can come from the QA team, they can come from C-level, they can come from the market, anywhere. So all these things get dumped into a place called the backlog. As you can see here, this is called a backlog. This product is called Jira. It's the most popular, but there are other ones. There's one called Rally, and there are a host of them, a slew of them that are on the market. But as a product manager, you see that there'll be stories that are written, right, that are all thrown into this backlog. But you have to prioritize. Some of them may not even be necessary. Some of them you have to go through and figure out how to work with the team. So as you can see, this one is me. I have a developer. I have some people in the team, and I assign them to who needs to do what. I need to figure out what is being done, why it's being done, and I have to be able to prioritize them, because otherwise there'll be so many items in the backlog. So items in the backlog, I guess I'm kind of jumping the gun here, but if I give you a walkthrough of what this app does, maybe you appreciate it a bit more. So let me do that real quick, and then we'll come back to show you what I mean. So let's say we go here. Okay. Okay. So this app, to give you a background, it's still being built, but I'm using it for purpose of this class. It's called Bubbles. It's basically, think of Uber for laundry. We can do a request for our food to be delivered by Uber. We can get an Uber ride. And this one is like specific for people to get laundry and dry cleaning services delivered to them. Or you can schedule a pickup. So you can schedule a pickup for your laundry to be picked up from your home, and then you can schedule for it to be delivered to you. Or you can go drop it off, and from your way, when it's ready, you get a notification it's ready, and on your way from work, you can just pick it up. So this is what this app is trying to solve. So this is the what. Can you see my screen still? No.
Not anymore.
None no more.
Okay, let me try it again. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is Bubbles. So I'm just gonna walk you through it real quick. So this is the app. It's on my phone. This is only internal for testing. We are yet to release sometime this summer. So you can go in. So it shows you like finding top laundry facilities around you. Tells you can schedule a pickup. You can get on-time delivery and all that good stuff. And then, of course, you can sign up for the service, put in your name and all that stuff. But I'm not going to go through the whole process, right? So this is an example of, you know, that the app. I'm not gonna go into the whole screens, but I'm just showing you this so I can talk more about the next thing that I want to talk about here, which is everything that you've seen so far came about or is possible because we have everything accounted for here. So in the beginning, you saw like a screen which had the logo. So that's what we call the splash screen. So you see, it says here splash screen. We go on here. There's a story on it explaining how things should work. So we have description of what a splash screen should look like. As a user, I want to see a splash screen display of the Bubbles app logo so that I know that the app is in progress, right? And I mean, it's something very simple. So this explains what is going on. We have things like initiating drop-off when somebody wants to drop off a product. We have, as a Bubble app user, I want to find laundromat or dry cleaners drop-off locations so I can drop off my laundry, the notes. The drop-off process begins from the home screen, which is here. So I have a picture of how it looks like. And then you goes to here. You can search, put in your address on the search bar up here. And then it goes, you know, so say it gives me a list of laundromats. I pick one, the top one. It gives me the details, and then I can select it and then, you know, continue. I don't want to go through the whole process, but everything, all these processes are captured here in the backlog, right? And you as a product manager needs to know and prioritize which ones should be built, in what order, and what should be built next, or which ones are not important. Currently, these are still the backlog, and these are the ones that are being worked on. If you see a strike through it, that means this one is done. As you can see, the status here says done. Can you see it? And then we have the sign up process. So everything here that is done, you see like there's a line through it, like these are still being done. This is almost done. We're doing integration into it. Those that are in progress, and these are the things that are still left to be done, right? So all these come together. And then when this is done, I need to prioritize with a team what needs to be done next here, or prioritize it ahead of time so that when they're done, we can review what was done here in the sprint, and then we can onboard this next sprint. And then I keep grooming the backlog because there'll be more stories coming in, and I'm working with it. So this is built with a nice roadmap that tells me where, you know, where we are going, what has been built, which epic. So here I can tell splash screen is done, all these are done. So this one is left with integration, and then the onboarding is all done. And then we have hamburger menu. Most of these are done. So by the time I meet with the team, I expect all these to be done and all be ready to be pushed, right? And then we have a board that we follow. So this shows me the issues that are yet to be done. These are the to-dos, those that are in progress, and those that we're integrating now, and those when they are done, they are moved here. And these can all be, you know, moved. So I can say this is a code review like that, or I can move it back. So it creates like a card. So this is the Jira card, which is a bit different from the Kanban. So I'm just saying these because Shantae knows what I'm talking about. And he said some of the things that we're going to go a bit more deeper. So for today's class, what I'm going to be talking about is how do we know what we should be building, right? Which one should we be prioritizing and why? And so that is the purpose of today's class, so that you want to get a sense of, okay, I log in here and I see several issues written out here. And these are all done by the product manager. Some of them are coming from different places. Like all these have stories. They have images, they have text on them to explain, you know, different parts of the application. So when you work using your app, certain parts of the app has different, have all been thought out and vetted out by your team to basically understand why they are all being built. So when a developer takes this, they can see these nodes, they know what screen to be working on, they have the link to it, and they can just go straight and get that done, right? And so that's the purpose of, and they allow you as a user, as a product manager, to really, to be able to, this is like a living, breathing document between you and your team. It helps you to steer discussions. It helps you with the team to be able to like understand what is being worked on. And this is not only for software. Like I've worked for companies where the last company that I was with, they use this for even design, right? The design team, because designers are also called, like developers are called code pushers. They write code and they push the code. And then designers are called pixel pushers. They design in pixels and they get all these things done. But there'll be a user story that is written like this. This is for like selecting a service, wash and fold. And welcome, Resni. I'm going through this because keeping the same theme, and this will be very good to refer back to for your preparation, because it has, it helps you talk and speak to the product, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Sorry for being late.
That's okay. That's Resni. He's also in Chicago. So Shante, you have some company. So here, we have like the select service, wash and fold. All those are here. You click on it. So this is like the user story says, and I can open this up and then we can read it all in full. Let me see. So you can see it. You can open that particular user story for the team. So you keep all your stuff in the backlog and then you prioritize them with the team. So this is like a room, right? Where you all go in, everything is out there. And then you bring all these things out and you discuss them. You discuss why this is being built, who is it for, how it should look like. I don't worry too much about the details. I'm going to go to another in-depth moment to go through the entire how you go about, prioritizing and how to go about writing the user stories. So this right here is an example of a user story, right? So this is something that I'm sending to. So I'm typing this as a user story. This is an ongoing project. That's why I'm using it to explain the work that is being done, right? So here I'm saying that, let's see, right here. Okay, so let's, so user story usually goes like this. So it's usually as a blank, I want blank so that blank, right? So usually the first blank is the user, and you have to determine what user are you talking about. So this is as a Bubbles app user. I want to, so this is usually a feature that they want. I want to, in this case, select wash and fold service so that I can enter order details and instructions, right? And then we also put in here, note, the select service screen allows the user to choose the service options. The user can input order details, number of bags, number of items, the weight, the preferences, any like washing instructions. So I have to update the washing instructions. And then when they're done, return the user back to the select service screen to allow the user to select another type of service. So we write also, how do we test and make sure this is working? We say, given that a user wants to choose a laundry or dry cleaning service, right? So laundry or dry cleaning service. when the user selects a service, then allow the user to enter other specific details. That is the number of bags, number of weight items, weight, preferences, instructions, etc. Right? So I write all these. So when the developer picks this, they know, okay, this is what's supposed to happen here. In some cases, I can even be more detailed. I have a link to the design and all that, which I can also, maybe I should show you so you can appreciate it a bit more. And whilst that is, while that is opening, I can go back to this user story. Where is it? Because it usually takes a while to open. Hopefully it opens faster this time. So, okay, it's opening, so I'll just let it open whilst we, so, save this, and I just want to show you something. So here I can assign this to somebody on my team, right? I can say, I want to assign this to this person, right? And right, I assign it to myself, but in this case, I want to assign it to Lucas. So I assigned it to Lucas, and I'm like, you know what, I made a mistake. I really want to assign it to Jay. So I can assign it to Jay. So these are the things that I can do. And they'll get a notification, right? Because I've set this up in a way that they'll get a notification once I send it to them, and they can see it easily. And I'm like, okay, you know what, let's give it back to Lucas. So I send it to him, and I can send him messages here. So here we have the designs. It shows me how the screen looks like. So this is like when the user comes to this screen, it says choose your service. They select wash and fold, they hit confirm. They then put in the number of bags. They put in the weight, the number of items. They can write notes and whatever and save them. So I didn't just provide the images just for fun. What I'm doing is I'm providing it for the team, so that they know which design comp to look at. So when they go into development, they go to this screen. I hope it's the other one. Let me sign out of this and log into my. And so these things are important because developers cannot do good work if they have to also deal with all these administrative stuff, checking in with legal and making sure everything you're working on is like, the right thing. That's why they need product managers, because product managers managing the whole behind the scenes and talking to the developers, talking to the users, and gathering all that is needed to really move the work along, so that devs can dev, designers can design, analytics folks can analyze, legals can, write a legalese or litigate, whatever word you want to use. The users, so everything is like, everybody does what they do, but you are facilitating the entire the entire orchestra. Again, back to use that analogy, you are the one driving the whole story. So whilst that's loading, we can move back here. So for example, here I can write comments. Whilst that's loading, I just want to show you something real quick. I can so I can click this to write into this, or I can just type M. That opens it up, and I can say, Lucas, I'm writing a message to Lucas. Hey, we've not heard from you in a long time concerning this project. Are you still interested in working with us on this project? And when I hit save, boom, it sends a message to Lucas immediately. Right, and this is actually true because I haven't heard from him in a while. That's why I'm sending it. So I send it to him. He will get that, and maybe he'll respond, maybe not. Here you can also connect this to GitHub. There's so many things, I can connect it to GitHub. which is the place where developers push their code, or the development branch. Here we can estimate how long it will take. Maybe we say to do this, it will take us 5 star points, right? Or it will take us, let's say, in this case, we're using minutes. So I say it will take us about, it's taking about an hour. So I'll put 60 minutes. It changes to 1 hour. Or I think it will take me 72 hours. So I guess 60, so that's see 40 minutes. No, that's not accurate. But this is a conversion. I don't want to waste too much time on that. If I put 180 M, that's 3 hours, right? So I'm saying I will take about 3 hours to get this done. I assign it to him, and the labels I can choose. I'm not going to go into too much of the details here. So here we're doing the wash and fold select and service. So let's go here. Hopefully this is ready. Yes, it is. So we go in here, and just bear with me whilst it loads. So whilst it's loading, I just want to show you some more. So you can see that in the backlog, this is like your warehouse. Every bit and piece of the software that you're building has been accounted for. The delivery screen, the pickup, the notifications, everything is written in a story. Everything is well designed. If I click on any of them, I should have the user story in there, right? And I should have the designs to go with it. So the preview is coming up. That's the design. So this is the wash and fold. So I go back here. Okay, not now. So here we see everything that the design. So product manager, you'll be going in and out like this. I'll be working with a designer. So we're looking at select service, right? I can go through all this here. Let's see. Where did I put that? So this is so this is the screen, right? So if you look at this, I have everything written out, how the designs will go, there are comments. Each service opens up dynamically, the related modal screen. So all these are stuff that we discussed with the team, leaving notes for them. It shows you when I click on wash and fold, open the screen, right? And then when I hit continue, take me here. And then when I'm done, bring me back here. So if you look at the stories, the same thing you see in here, this is the same as what? The screen, right? So we have a link for it, and I can copy the link up here, for example. And when you go, you see this screen is there, and I'm saying that when you click on wash and fold, bring me here. So when you look at the backlog, when you click on it, it brings them here. So all that is just developers can see this, and then when I say when you hit continue, bring me to this screen where it shows them the how do you call it? Oops, too much. So you have the wash and fold. So if I go here, you can see the same thing. Wash and fold bag number 1, and same thing, wash and fold bag number 1. So I'm giving the developers everything they need to get the work done. So when they go in, they don't have to be asking too many questions. Ideally, even in here, I can add the design links and everything. So I can attach images. I can add a web link. So this is like the web link I need, and I say, this is, because I copied it from the design comps, and I call this select service, right? I link it, and it's good to go. So when the user clicks on this, it will open it's good to put it there for them so that when they are working, it will just open it to the right screen and they can see everything that they need. It's taking a while to load, but it will load. So I'm making the work for the developer very easy so that they can get everything they need and be able to work more efficiently. So these are some of the things that you'll be doing to facilitate that and helping move the conversation. It's taking a while to load, but I hope you catch my drift. So if you do, I want to move on to show you exactly how you would actually go about prioritizing. How would you go about doing all this prioritization? Here we've linked everything to select service, wash and fold. We have the web link also here. We have the design comp so they can see it. We have, oops. Can you see it?
Yes.
All right, so we have everything here. I have the notes. I have the user story up here to explain what is supposed to be done. And before it goes into sprint, I discuss with the team. We estimate how long it will take. We agree. We assign this to Lucas, and we can comment on this, and make sure that everything is moving along. We have a GitHub. I can, connect this to it and push all these messages to it as well. But that's not the purpose of this class, so I'm not going to go into that for now. All right. So do you have any questions, concerns, anything that is not clear? I want to go over before I move on to how we actually do the prioritization. Hello?
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Mohammed, Shante, no questions?
No, not at the moment.
All right. No problem.
I have
So-
no questions neither.
All right, cool. So I'm going to segue into, I guess before I do that, let me not get ahead of myself. Real quick, before I go there, just want to show you one last thing. Then I'll go into that side of the lecture. So, and if you feel I'm going too fast, please don't hesitate. Let me know. All right. So you can see my screen now, right? So we talk about the backlog. This is where all the issues are. So this one is backlog with all the issues. And this is like a sprint. These are backlogs that have been prioritized that are being worked on. So I can find insights about it. I know, I can know the breakdown. Right now, the team is not doing too good because this guy has been out sick and he's not back yet. So I can, it's telling me that we are behind, right? Let me refresh this. It's telling me that we are behind. I mean, I'm not gonna fix that just yet, but I just wanted to show you like some of the issues that can come up. Here, I can see my board, which shows me there are still 9 issues that are not done, right? And these are in progress. These are being integrated, and these are the stuff that are done. So ideally, I'll find out in our next meeting with my team, if this is done, we just grab it and we put it either it's been in progress or it's been integrated or it's ready for code review, right? And the moment I do this, they get a notification. If it's not done, I just grab it and drag it across. So these are some things that product manager would do, but in a bigger organization, you might have a product owner, part of a Scrum team who will manage these things on behalf of the product manager. These are like bigger Fortune 500 companies, like, AT&T, Verizon, Google, and the lot, they have dedicated teams that will do these things. The product manager focuses more on the research, customer discovery, working with the UX research team and all that stuff, and testing, and not much time for this, what we call tactical work. So the product manager becomes the PM, does more the strategic work, and the PO, which is the product owner, would be the right-hand man of the PM to carry the weight and get these tactical stuff done. But if you're in a smaller company, you'll be wearing many hats. You'll be doing this as well. So here we have the board. I can see the report. Doesn't look too good because we are behind. So I can adjust this, edit the sprint, because I think we actually want it to be done by tomorrow. So that should give us some time. I think I adjusted the sprint. Let's see. Okay, update. So hopefully that will update it, give us some time. To finish it. Okay. And then we have the roadmap, which will show you how, where we are in things in terms of, what month we're in. We're close to the end of June. It shows us what has been done, what is yet to be done. You can drag and drop. You can see that the green means you're almost done with the user app. The onboarding is almost done. Again, all this will be captured more once I meet up with the team to figure out what is really going on. Close this. Yeah, so I just want to show you this before I segue to the other part of the class. All right, so switch to this. Okay. I assume you can all see my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. So I took you through the backlog so you can see, you can have an idea of, all the things that come in, with the back end as a product owner, a product manager. There's a lot to be done, but they're all competing for attention. Some of them are coming from well-meaning team members. Some are coming from customers. Some are coming from, QA team, but you need to be able to prioritize and plan. So the issue here is, as a product manager, you have to prioritize, again, what you're building. Like I said before, your main thing is, what are we building? Who are we building it for? And why are we building it? Those are the 3 W's that you have to always worry yourself about. In some cases, if you are a technical product manager, you also deal with the how, which means you work closely with the development team to figure out how, discussing the technological trade-offs and debt and deficits and all that good stuff. So the problem here is what to build. And from the requirements that you've gathered, how do you define the goals using the OKRs? I don't know if you guys know what an OKR is. I think Resney, you should be able to do what this is.
No.
Anybody else?
No, I don't.
So OKRs are objectives and key results. It's just a nice way of saying, it's a goal setting framework used by teams and organizations and even sometimes individuals to, define and measure goals and track the outcomes, right? So these are all things, so these are some of the terms borrowed from other industries. This was introduced by Intel, the company that makes chips, and they needed a way to. They figured it's building chips. It's not just about being smart on the electronic side, but also being able to streamline the process to reduce waste. Because when there's chaos, not all work is good work. Just because people are carrying papers and clipboards and seem to be typing away at a screen, does not mean they're necessarily working. Or they could really be working, but working on the wrong things. But you need to be able to know from all our backlog items, which of these should be our target, right? And what is the objective that we are building? What are the key results, right? That we are looking for in this undertaking. So the actions to be taken, right? The target, what's the focus? So knowing what your objectives are, what your key results are, what target, because when you go on a journey and you don't know where you're going, you're definitely gonna get lost. So and you have to know, what are we focusing on in this quarter, or in this sprint, in this month? Is it this quarter? Is this year? So that will factor into how you prioritize stuff. So at AT&T, I was working on the e-commerce platform, which is where most people go on AT&T or att.com. It was a very prime project because I was working on the navigation. That's the first point of contact. When anybody comes to the site, they go to the menu, they click on that to find their way. It's called wayfinding, right? To find their way around the product. So it's highly visible. I need to know what the objective is, and what is the key, the key results or the outcome. What are we trying to move here? So here, people come onto the att.com or att.com website and they can't find what they need. And it gets, too crowded or cumbersome. Guess what? You lose them. They go to T-Mobile, or they go to T-Mobile, doesn't make sense. They leave, they go to Verizon. People just want comfort and ease. People want to understand what they're doing. They don't want to feel stupid and feel like they don't understand what they're doing. So your decision impacts and influences customers very, very critically. The minutia of changes could result in adding billions to the bottom line of your company, or losing billions, or millions. I've been there and I've seen it when the reports come in. One company I was working at, I probably shouldn't be talking about this, but they were making bank, like serious money. Like I factored in how much they were paying me and my whole team and everybody. I'm like, shoot, everything was like a drop in the bucket for them, because they put in and they pay the money to get the results, because they pay people like me and maybe in the future people like you to be able to prioritize and tell them what needs to be built that will actually bring the money, right? Cuba Gooding said, show me the money. You are here to help the company see where the money is with the users, with the customers. So you have to know what to build in this case and helping move the needle. So we tend to glamorize developers a lot, which they definitely have their place, but the product manager is moving a lot too, making sure that the developers are building what needs to be built. But because think about it, in a typical team, like my last company had about 3 or 4 developers on the team. Each one is commanding at least, let's say 150, 180,000. That's what, almost $1 million, right? About 900,000. They pay me, quite a lot too. And then we have designers, and we have this, and we have different, so they have all these people. It costs the company a lot of money. So you want to make sure that they're getting paid and you're not wasting the time and resources. One other company that I also work for, they were paying like close to 100,000 a month, plus pay my salary to manage a team in England and a team in Arizona and a team in California, all across different time zones. And each one is making some serious money. So I need to make sure that whatever they're building is the right thing. Because I could have them spend time working on a button that will not add any money to the corporation, but they still got to get paid because they worked, right? So, being able to prioritize the features and being able to also communicate the roadmap to the team, right? So like I said, customers are screaming at you to build new features. They're, things are coming in from the backlog. They're coming in from your customer service, coming in from the customer service department. They're coming in from the CEO. They're coming in from the director of product, the VP, the general manager. They're like, hey, we got to get this thing done. But you have to say, hey, hold off. Yeah, that thing is cool, but it's not really part of our initiative for this quarter. We're not going to do that till maybe Q4, right? Right now we're in Q2. By July, we're entering Q3, right? No, wait. July, we're entering Q3. So maybe we can take it up in Q4. So, your dev team wants you to pay off engineering debt. That means you just patched up some stuff in the past, and of course you need to just get it down to get things moving. So you cut corners, but now if you don't fix it, as the code gets bigger and bloated, it's going to implode. The app cannot sustain it. Let's say you used a MongoDB instead of a traditional database. It has its pluses. It helps you build fast. But now, let's say you targeted for only 500,000 to 1 million users, and now you have 20 million users, all, which is a good problem to have, right? That's an engineering debt. You use MongoDB. It helped you use Firebase, and you got to market real quick. But now everything is, hit the fence. You have, instead of 1 million users, now you have 10 million. They're all making requests. They want to buy stuff. It's Black Friday. It's whatever day you can name of. Cyber Monday. It's this, whatever day. They all want it. So 10 million customers all hitting your servers, and now your site is going down. And they go like, oh, I don't want to work with this company anymore. So as a product manager, you're getting like shouts from your engineering department. Customers are screaming for new features. It'll be cool if you can add this. Your manager has, their own agenda. Your teams are also saying everything. So now what should you build? How do you, filter the noise from the signal? How do you tell the noise from the signal? So it's kind of like a war. Everybody's coming at you. This one says, let's build this. This one says, no, we need this. Engineering says, we got to make up for this thing because we use something to patch it. A classic example, Twitter started with a language called Ruby on Rails. Very easy to learn, or relatively easier to learn. It has, the syntax is just like English. It's kind of like Python, but it's quick and ready to go. It has a framework that helps to make work done. So they used it. Ruby code, for example, on a ratio scale, when you write code in Java to do the same thing, you probably write 10 lines of code to do maybe 5 lines of code, 7 lines of code. To do the same thing in Ruby, you only write 1 line. So developers can get so much done. So a product that has about 100,000 lines written in Java to do only about maybe 10 or 20 features, that same 100,000 number of lines with Ruby on Rails, you have about 100 to 200, I'm just exaggerating here, but you get my drift. You can get a whole lot more done. So to build it, they just prototyped it and built it in Ruby on Rails. The Rails framework came out of the box with all the templates, and they got Twitter up and running. And it was just a test because you go for Java, you go for some more seasoned languages that requires more coding and more testing and all that. That's going to be really, really, really expensive. So they went with the quick route. And if you guys remember, there were times when Twitter will just like go offline because it couldn't handle the load. They thought it was an experiment. They didn't know it will have that global impact to the point where people like Trump and Elon Musk and governments and organizations and you name it now live and swear by Twitter. But in the beginning, they built small and then realized that they had to capture, make up this engineering debt because it was built in Ruby on Rails. And now it couldn't handle the stress that comes with the, when they targeted for a few hundred a few millions, 10 million. Now they were getting 100 to 200 million, and they couldn't handle it. So they had to just keep what they had. And now, given the blueprint they had to solve this engineering debt of now rebuilding the whole backend in a language called Erlang, which is designed for communication. It was designed by Nokia in, Ericsson. That's what the Erlang. So it's for telecommunications. It's for dealing with high throughput data, and that is more resilient. They changed the backend to Scala. I don't want to bore you with the details, but they had to do that on the side, which cost money, but that had to be solved. Otherwise, it will also impact the user experience for the whole application, because Twitter had something called a big whale. Whenever the servers got loaded up, it will just fail. And then that whale shows up showing that the site is down. And then they have to get engineers quickly to try and bring it back up from the dead. So they just like, look, we got to pay this debt. Build an Erlang. It's a more specialized language. That's the same thing that WhatsApp uses. That's why WhatsApp can handle so many messages, billions of messages. Like right now as we're speaking, people on WhatsApp, texting, sending videos, calling, group chats, you name it. All this has to be handled by the backend. But Twitter built it in Ruby on Rails, which was good for just a few 500,000 to 1 million or 2 million. But then it blew up, so they had to fix this debt. So that had to be prioritized, changing the UI and all that. So then it gets like into a war. Everybody wants their stuff done. So you have these unprioritized list of features in the backlog, like I just showed you. You have to talk to customers. You're getting features coming in from everywhere. Feature requests coming in from customers. It's coming in from sales. It's coming in from your metrics, the telemetry, telling you your daily usage, quality, what you're missing. The question is, how do you fit all this into your organization strategy, right? You're looking at what your competitors are doing. So if you're like Facebook, there are so many features that Facebook has now that didn't have before, because Snapchat came in, they had ephemeral messages. You post something and it disappears. Facebook's like, wow, that's cool. Hey, want to buy you? They're like, nope, we don't want you. We don't want your money. So they're like, you know what? We're going to clone you. So they go and clone it. Some worked, some failed. Those that didn't work, Facebook discarded. But now Facebook has your status update. You put an image of something for 24 hours. All that came from Snapchat. They then rolled it out into Instagram, and now rolled it into WhatsApp as well. Now, WhatsApp now has recently they've been testing it out, but now they rolled it out fully, where you can send a message to, say, Resni, some private message, and I'll put a timer on it that once he opens it up and sees it, it will just disappear. He can't even take a screenshot of it or whatever. All those things come from Snapchat. So these are features that come out. Facebook has to make a decision. You are the product manager. Man, people are flocking away from Facebook. Facebook is now for people who are in college, like my time in 2005, 2007. Now, those people, kids today in high school or in college want to be on Snapchat. They want to be on Instagram. So Facebook had to buy Instagram. Had Instagram said no, today it would have been bigger than Facebook. And Facebook would be like MySpace or whatever they call it, High Five or whatever. Those are the ones that died, right? But Facebook, with the product managers, realized, hey, let's buy Instagram. They bought it for $1 billion. Today, is worth more than what Facebook would have been able to buy it for, but it was a strategic move. So you as a product manager, you have to be looking at the competition. So Facebook, another feature, TikTok comes along with short form video. It's really cool. So guess what? Not just Facebook. Facebook copied it with their Facebook videos to copy YouTube, and they saw the shorts coming from TikTok. So they created their own stuff. YouTube also copied it. Now YouTube has shorts, right? To capture some of the market from TikTok, because TikTok is blowing up here and everywhere. So they copy from each other, and how do you prioritize all these things? You have to talk to customers, you get feedback from channels, you follow social media, talking to your sales team and all that stuff. So the famous quote from Yogi Berra, he says, if you don't know where you're going, you might not get there, which is so true. So as a product manager, You have to set a roadmap. You have to avoid fights happening in the team, and making sure everybody's needs are being addressed and met. So the OKRs, objectives and key results methodology. So, you have to have an objective for the team or for the product you're working on, for which season the product is in, right? And looking at having a pulse on the market. That is, where is the market positioned? Who are our competitors? What are they doing? Is this a long-term issue that we're doing? Are we doing a short-term one, right? So, you can list several objectives, but you have to be able to fit them within the team's timeline, right? And it has to be, the SMART framework. There has to be a specific objective, something that you can actually measure, right? You can actually track whether it's doing well or not. Attainable means it's something that your team should be able to handle. So if you have only 3 developers on your team and you're giving them the task to go build something that needs 30 developers, that is not attainable. You have to look at your organizational resources and be able to work with the project managers and the Scrum masters to see, hey, this is a situation, we need some more manpower, we need some more devs, and all that. So make sure that your team can attain this and be able to work it out. You don't just assume and just start running to do it. It has to be relevant to your objectives for the year or for that quarter or for whatever time. And you have to time it. That means it has to be able to come in when you need it. When Snapchat is, Facebook is hemorrhaging users, the user base has now moved to Instagram, and then they've moved to Snapchat. They're now on TikTok. You don't just throw in the towel. You have to be quick. And that's why Facebook had a motto: build fast. It was called build or break fast. And build and break things as you go. Just build it and they'll quickly test it. So Facebook's method was just building things, throw it on the wall, see what sticks. If they get pushed back, they roll back a little bit and they tweak it, because time to market is critical. So you don't end up losing steam and losing, to the competitors. So some of these things are very straightforward. When you use OKRs, it allows you to have regular planning. So the team has a roadmap, a commitment for all stakeholders. When stakeholders means any and everyone who is aligned and assigned to this particular objective, right? So it could be the VP of engineering, it could be the director of sales, marketing, product marketing manager. All these people are available. These are the stakeholders, developers, designers, you name it. It allows transparency. It also provides focus for the team, accountability for tracking to say and know if what you're doing is actually working, right? Because you can set objectives, you know what the key results should be. So if the results is to get on a plane, flying to Chicago. If I end up in Miami, I'm definitely not going to the right place, right? So, and then it helps you to be able to prioritize and be able to say no to just about anything. Just because somebody comes in and says, hey, Shante, we need to do this, blah, blah, blah. You're like, well, I appreciate that you want us to do that. And I would love to accommodate that, but guess what? These are objectives for this quarter. These are resources, blah, blah, blah. And we just don't have the bandwidth, so, strategic way, getting the data to be able to answer without coming across as, insubordinate, or you just don't want to help the team. That's what we call data-driven decision, because you have the data to show that, hey, this is the reason why we can't take this on. So a product manager is not just a short order cook, or like a server. Hey, I get me some ginger ale, some this, some that, da da da. They come back and return it. They push back this on. A good waiter will say, hey, we ran out of this, but we can substitute with that. So that kind of a thing, right? So these are examples of OKRs. I want to rush through some of these quickly because of time. So we can set up an objective that we will increase usage as measured by the following key results. So let's say for any product, different product, we want to increase our monthly active enterprise customers by 3x in the next 3 months. Or we want to increase monthly active users by 2x in the next 3 months. We want to increase app signups by 2x in the next 3 months, right? Or we want to decrease customer satisfaction. So we have what we call CSAT, which is customer satisfaction results or numbers. So when you're getting a lot of bad reviews, this is time to look and fix those things. Some of them could be, external factors. Some of them are internal, like, reducing or technical, like reducing the app crashes. The app crashes a lot. People will be in the middle of something and it just crashes. So you want to make sure that you reduce that by 2x in the next 3 months, reduce your support tickets, improving availability. So these are some of the samples of OKRs that you can work on. So when you set goals, you're able to get people aligned, and you have a living, breathing document to kind of help you stay on course. Any questions so far? Okay, I will continue then. So creating a prioritized list of features, right? When you do this, it helps you to achieve your key results as a team. Developers will do what they're told to do, right? Because that's what they get paid, to write code. Designers will design when they ask to design. But you are the product manager. You need to steer the ship. So to achieve the key results for the organization, that's been set by the CEO or by your head of product or VP of product or whoever, signs your paycheck, you would be able to achieve your key results, and you should rank them and, have them all stacked in a way that makes sense. And you have to have a list for the next 3 months or 6 months, and you have to prioritize them. Just like we have anything that will take more than 6 months, you put them in a bucket or what we call an ice box or in the backlog. Those you don't touch. The things that you've been prepped for 3 months, because usually as a product manager, you should have at least 2 to 3 sprints, which is about 2 weeks of work. So 3 sprints would be what? A month and a half. Great product managers will have about 3 months of work already done. Prioritized, every feature and everything in it is there. So when it comes to dev time, there's no playing around. You always have work done, so you can prioritize and have your team working on only things that are adding value. Critical thing, communication. Communicate. You have to get alignment with your team. Communicate your features to your team and partners, or what we call cross-functional stakeholders, by sending them regular updates. You can, so ideally, every 2 weeks, you should give a report. You should have an internal report for you and your team, your core team, but every 2 weeks, you would want to get a report out. So the month you have 2 reports, so that at the end of a quarter, you have what? At least, let's see, so 2 reports each month. So by the end of the quarter, you should be having at least 6 or more reports, and as a general report for the quarter. And the higher ups, they love paperwork. When they see that you've actually keeping track, what went in, what were some of the blockers, what were some of the things that didn't go in, why they couldn't go in, all documented in a nice way that they can follow and see that, showing where you're meeting your targets, guess what? You will be promoted very quickly. Companies like Amazon, that's what they do. They keep track of everything that is done. And then you write them in like no more than 2 pages, and you have that ready. So if you have a meeting with somebody, you send all this out to them. Before I meet with Shantae, before I meet with Mohammed, or anybody in my team, they would come in. Before the meeting starts, they will probably spend like 5 minutes to just read that and jot down some questions, and then the meeting starts. So now the meeting is being driven with purpose. Nobody comes there to now be talking about what deal they got at Macy's or how they spend the weekend and some problems with their significant other. So, Amazon drives that. You come in, you read that document, you know what was done, why we're having this meeting, you've read it, you have your questions, and you're able to move things along, in a more organized way. And then this allows you to be able to prioritize, send regular status updates. So you don't overdo it. I think, bi-weekly is fine. Very short, pager, no more than 2 pages. So that end of the month, you have at least 2 of them, and then you summarize it. Next month, same thing, you do the same. By the end of the quarter, you have a pretty comprehensive with charts, with all the data to support it. When your VP sees it, he's able to talk to the senior VP or head of product, and they're like, wow, you make them look good. They'll also want to keep you around and pay you the big bucks. So this is just some recommended reading. If you can get this book, it's called Measure What Matters. So building is not just to build sake, but you're building with a purpose, right? There's got to be a reason as to why you're building what you're building. So this allows you, I think you can find on Amazon. The author's name is John Doerr. He's a venture capitalist. He's made a lot of money. And these are some of the books that I'll recommend that you read. Product managers are leaders. And there's a saying that leaders are readers, right? So if you want to be a leader, you should make, a product manager or product leader, you should always have that reading as part of your repertoire, and you'll be reading a lot of books for that matter. Any questions so far? Hello? Okay.
None at the moment.
Do you have a question?
No, none at the moment.
Okay. All right. So the takeaways for today's class, be able to define your objectives and key results. And we're going to do an example in our next class where we'll also talk about, we'll go deeper in the user stories and the whole agile framework, understanding how to really, how to define and how to prioritize the backlog. And I can also assign a homework for the team, for the class, so you'll be able to go in and really learn. So, this class, we looked at an example product that I've been working on. We saw the user stories. There's so many of them. And the user stories come from so many places. They can come from sales. They can come from customer service. They can come from users. They can come from every place that you can think of. And they all need to be have a fair hearing. That's what I call due process for each product. But not all of them will have to see the light of day. So you, as the product manager, you're charged with being not just taking everything that you're told, but being able to analyze, be able to prioritize, be able to determine why are we building this and not that, right? There are so many frameworks. There's something called a quick way. One of them is called Moscow, M-O-S, like Moscow, right? But all it means is M-O-S-C-O-W. The M in Moscow is things that you must build. The S is things that you should build, and the things that you could build, and the W is some things that you would. So something that must be built, it has more precedence over something that you could build or something that you should build. So a must means it's a non-negotiable. It has to be built. It must be built because it's critical. For example, when you have issues with login, people cannot log in with their social logins like Facebook or Google login, and they can't get into their accounts. That takes high precedence. It has to be top priority and find a way to fix it. So there are so many ways. But we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna go deeper in the next class where we discuss the Moscow framework. There is that is for general, quick, dirty prioritization. And after doing that, you can also go deeper to prioritize some more with something called the RICE framework, which in this case, you're looking at the, how do you call it? With the RICE framework, you're looking at things like how many people can you reach with this product that you are working on, right? What is the reach of the product? And then you're also looking at the impact. How many people would be impacted by that particular feature? So this product feature that we're talking about is something like people can log in or people are not getting what they bought, then it's a priority. So what's the reach of the people that are being affected? What's the impact, right? And then the next is what's the confidence that the team has in solving this issue? Because some problems will need more time. Some will need a hot fix or a patch to get things moving. So we have the RICE framework, RICE, but we're going to go deeper into the RICE framework. So prioritization frameworks is what we're going to be working on in our next class. Prioritization, the RICE frameworks is the reach, the impact, the confidence, and then the E is how much engineering effort would it take, right? So when you're able to answer all these questions, it helps you to now go through your backlog and be able to discuss what needs to be used. Are we using the RICE framework, or are we going to use the Moscow, which is must have, should have, could have, or something that is a will. We could have it, but it's not, something that you could have is not something that you should have. Something that you should have is not something that you must have. So that's the priority. So you can use Moscow to quickly separate the apples from the oranges, and then use the RICE framework to further break it down on what's the reach, the impact, the confidence of getting this done, and the engineering of effort divided by, so RIC, the reach, impact, and the confidence, divide all that by engineering effort that will take to get it done and score that feature. So to be in the backlog, so when you go to the backlog, you can see everything lined up. Right? You can see everything lined up clearly. So I just want to show that to you one more time. Let's see, share this. So this is so when you go in here, you see all these backlog items. You're able to prioritize. For example, we need to have a splash screen before we can, and a place where they can onboard and sign up and sign out of the application. That's why it's prioritized here, and those are done. If those are not done, you cannot go to the sign up verification screen. You cannot go to the preferences screen, the settings screen. So you have to prioritize them in an order that the team can follow, right? And then sometimes what you're dealing with is you have to prioritize a user experience feature or situation. So that also has a framework called the HEART framework, which, when the time comes, we will delve much more into that. So we have the HEART framework, which means that's used by Google. That's tracking the happiness of the product. How happy are people using it? So that's the goal, for people to feel happy when they use it. Satisfaction rating from surveys. Engagement, for users to keep discovering more content on the application. Adoption, users using the app or site more often. And retention, for users to continue to come use the app. And then also task success, which means are the users able to accomplish their goal when they come to use your app or when they come to use your product. So again, we're going to go into details with all this, the HEART metrics. So the 5 metrics used in the HEART framework, but that's the HEART: happiness, engagement, adoption, retention, task success. And then you have this HEART, and you set your goal. What signal are you looking for? What metric you're trying to improve? And all these things are listed out nicely. So we're gonna go through that. So that's a quick overview. I just wanted to get you to this. There's more to come because we want to go deeper on learning how to actually prioritize them with an example, and then being able to, how do you call it? Use a framework that there's no one right or wrong framework, but you to have a baseline where you're able to quickly, prioritize something quickly, because you need a sign up before you can get a sign in if somebody's never used the application. So that has to come first. You cannot just start working on the shopping cart when the users cannot even sign into the application or sign in. You need to be able to know, like, prioritize one feature over the other, why that is needed, to make a case for it. And so all these are the things that we as a product managers do on a daily basis and keep the conversation going, keep the team going. It's kind of like common sense, but it's not always common to many people. But that is wearing many hats, being able to prioritize even your time, prioritizing what needs to be built, prioritizing what features to be built first, and getting all this in place so that the team can always know what to be building, who they're building it for, and why they're building it. So they're always spending resources on the most important stuff. Yeah, so that brings us to the end of today's lectures. I'll leave some few minutes for any questions, concerns, anything.
Will there be multiple projects or just one?
Can you please repeat that?
Will there be multiple projects or is just one whole project at the end?
I'm not sure if I heard you. Can you please type your question? Shantae, did you hear what she said? Hello?
I think she said, will there be multiple projects or only one project at the end?
Oh, no, there'll be remember I told you that we'll have a weekend, like this weekend. I just need to check and see. We have, like, I'd like for the teams to be in a meeting with the class to be in the meeting to see how my team we go about prioritization. I'm gonna give you your own assignment to work on, which I'll post it in the Slack and give you something. So it's gonna cover the first week, second week, and third week, and then have you actually, like, use that as practice so you can get some on the job practice. But ideally, if your weekends are available, I would want to, I want you to be able to, get that hands-on experience by being sitting in, and then also giving the opportunity to actually writing some sample user stories and being able to play around with the Jira, writing user stories, prioritizing them, and all that. So you get an actual experience. Does that answer your question? I hope.
Yeah, and what weekend will that start? Will that be just starting this weekend or next weekend or?
So I'm gonna give that by this week. You have until next week to get it done, because of course today's Tuesday. If we do it just this weekend, you only have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's not enough time. So I'm gonna post it in the Slack so that you have at least a week to work on it. You can ask questions even during that time. Shantae does a good job. She always reach out, ask questions. You're welcome to reach out and ask questions as well, and I'll do well to answer them.
Okay, and I guess this is more of it's a small concern, maybe. I guess maybe I didn't hear it last live, but if there's no class, will you be telling people beforehand? Because last week there was no class that I know of, but I didn't hear anything, like no one said anything. And I did ask you in the Slack, well, not you, but I did post in the Slack, is there any class this week? And nobody answered.
Yeah, so there was definitely some miscommunication in the beginning. because we're using the email, and then we wanted to add the Slack so we can be able to post like announcements and videos and everything there. So moving forward, any class announcement, yes, I'll announce it through the Slack, and also I'd like to do it through the emails for now. Just don't want to clog your emails with so much email coming in with stuff from me. So we will stick to the Slack and also the email for now until the class really gets caught up and gets the notifications on the Slack as well. And then we can all move on, have everything posted and you get the notifications if you have it turned on your Slack.
Yeah, I have it turned on, but the concern was nobody replied. So I was in the dark, kind of. I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that moving forward, that should not happen.
Okay, thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome.
So I'm pretty new to Jira. I'm still learning it. So I don't mind starting this weekend. But I'm still playing around with the whole entire, the whole entire, I don't want to call it, I guess if you want to call it software, but it's still very new to me, but I'm getting around it,
Mhm. Yeah, and I had said that today was just like an intro to that because there's more depth to that. Like navigating yourself around Jira, understanding how to use it. Most of the time, you would be in a position where you're part of a corporation that already has a setup. So you just come in and you just use it as is. In some cases, you have to set up from the ground up. In my case, I had to set it up myself. But if it's already set up, it's a good thing. You just come in, you know where things go, and you just make things, keep things moving. And that's how you use Jira. So today was just to go over how you go about prioritizing, understanding how it looks like, but we're going to go deeper into like user story, user persona, understanding how to write the user stories, how to write them in Jira and all that. So we're going to go deeper.
Okay, and would you say by the end of the class, we should have, I guess, a portfolio of work, like, projects and what other
Yeah.
word?
Yeah, so this is like we're building to that. Right now, we're just doing the fundamentals. The first week was to understand what the product management is. We had Mohammed, who's a friend of mine, join. So you came in a little later, but I had just gone through quickly what we did. So the beginning is just to touch base on what product management is, understand, the different types of product management, and then understand the landscape. And then now we're moving to build the basics before now we move to the, giving you like a project to work on. So one of the assignments that we're going to have is the team is going to pick a project. Ideally, we want to pair people because it can get a bit overwhelming or daunting to do it on your own. Because I have some people that are in the same time zone. Like Shantae is in Chicago, so same as Resni and Lisa, she wasn't on today. Ayana sometimes joins the class as well. We have, I don't know if Mohammed is going to continue, but be able to work with the team on a project because product management is not done in the dark. It's done as a teamwork. So having that thing going will help. So that, I'm building the foundation now. And then we set the stage to now pick projects that we can work on as a team, like 2 or 3 teams. And that's what will be part of your portfolio capstone project. And then also we have the meeting us on Saturdays with my team to actually get in the hands-on experience. Does that answer your question? Hello?
So is that a yes?
Was that? Yes, that's a yes. Yes, a yes. I just want to give you more details as to how it will happen. Okay. Does that answer your question? So do you have any more questions? Okay, I guess if you don't have any other questions, we're gonna end it for today. I would entertain any questions that you have. Like I said, we want to make sure that we stay on top of the Slack. So you can post questions there as well or via email. I think Slack will be easier because everything will be right there and we can all answer it. And you know, if you have any questions, any concerns, please do not hesitate. You have my number, you have my email, you have the Slack, any way possible. LinkedIn, however you want to reach me, I'm available to be there for you.